Hi.
Hi, Ivy. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here. I'm so excited to chat with you today.
Me too.
Okay, Ivy, so can you share with our community a little bit about who you are, your story, and just yeah, what you do in the world?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Ivy. Obviously, I'm a Yes Supply graduate. I graduated with Olga's cohort recently, and I'm the founder and owner of my own LLC. It's called Jenkins Solutions, and I'm a business coach for female entrepreneurs who, kind of like I was a couple of years ago, exiting the corporate world, feeling super burnt out, just wondering like, what am I here for? What is my purpose? So I've kind of created a unique methodology of my own, made it into an acronym, and I utilize some of the Yes Supply tools that I've learned throughout Olga's cohort to kind of help people dig deep, pull out their purpose, and help them kind of translate that into a business that makes sense for them.
Wow, that is so powerful. I love that.
Yeah.
So Ivy, what made you decide to say yes and invest in the Yes Supply method?
Yeah, so actually, my business coach is a Yes Supply alum as well. She's also a therapist, and I started working with her a little over 2 years ago. And I asked her what kind of tools that she learned and how she implemented those into her business. And she mentioned the Yes Supply method. I had never heard of it, but like I said, all the tools are invaluable, and I use them every day with my clients. So it's one of the best decisions I ever made.
Oh, I love that. That's so funny how like there's like these ripple effects and you look up to certain people and then you're just like, I'm gonna have what they're having.
Yeah, no, I'm somebody, as corny as it sounds, I really don't believe in coincidences. So there's, a reason that I was led to this work. So
Totally. Me too. Me too. Okay, so you said you use these tools and techniques every single day. So how has going through the SI method impacted your business?
yeah, so I would say one of the main tools I use is EFT tapping. I use it personally, not just with my clients. I think it's probably the most powerful tool because at the root of our reality is what's going on in between our two ears, what our subconscious is telling us. So part of the way that I work with my clients is clearing out all the clutter that's preventing them from moving forward in their lives and really digging deep into their passion, their purpose, and some of the self-sabotage that I see in a lot of people. And I think EFT tapping is one of the most powerful tools to kind of clear all that away and then program in all the goodies. So
Okay, I love that. So EFT is your favorite, your go-to.
yeah, I would say second behind that is single belief. But yeah, I utilize all of them, but I would say those are, in my opinion, the most powerful and the ones that I see work the quickest with my clients. So
Okay, that's amazing. It's so nice to have kind of like a big toolbox, like you're saying. Everybody kind of has their favorites, but just to be able to feel so supported with so many different tools, depending on the person in front of you and what they need, I'm sure feels or just gives you like so much confidence.
yeah, I agree. And I think a lot of them, whenever they start working with me, I'll mention EFT tapping and I always get like, what is that? I've never heard of that, but it ends up changing them personally and ultimately professionally, because I think one of the things that I really feel strongly about is taking your purpose and your passion and your mission and using it to serve others. So that's something I really practice what I preach. So we want to make sure we're putting out good stuff into the universe. So
Totally. I love that aspect of like being of service and like tying it to your passion.
yeah.
And that's so incredible that you get to help people do that. Like, how fulfilling for you.
Yeah, and this is again probably going to sound a little bit cheesy, but I will never forget this. I had someone who kind of mentored me, and this was years ago before I even joined the Yes Apply method. And I remember asking, what do we do for our career? And he said, take what you need the most and give it to other people. And I just thought that was like really profound and beautiful. So that's what I try and do.
I love that. I love when like years ago, people will just like drop a little, like sauce or just like a little download to you and it just sticks with you, and that was one of those that just stuck with you.
Yeah, I'll never forget it. So that's what that's kind of at the heart of my business and what I try to give to clients so they can give it to other people. Like you said, ripple effects.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I love that. So, Ivy, can you tell us a little bit about your journey with Yes Supply, your experience?
Yeah, so like I said, one of my mentors, my business coach, told me about the Yes Supply method. She herself is also a graduate, and I was kind of unsure at the time before I signed up, but I would just say to everybody out there, if there's a small little inkling within you saying like, do it, do it, do it, follow that nudge. It's intuitive and it's there for a reason. It's, in my opinion, from your higher self. So it's one of the best decisions I've ever made, like personally and professionally.
I love
So,
that.
yeah. And like I said, I come back to the tools every day myself, and I've seen massive transformations with my clients as far as, removing some of the self-sabotaging tendencies, limiting beliefs, and then putting empowering thoughts in there that can translate into their business and they can go out and give it to others. So
I love that. And I feel like in business, mindset sometimes is so overlooked, but it's so powerful.
Well, I totally agree. I mean, it sets the tone for everything. You get what you give out there. It's a universal law. So, reaping what you sow, whatever you want to call it. So I'd also say on that note, hypnosis is also another tool that I really like to use. But yeah, I think being in a place personally where you can give from a centered, calm place really has invaluable effects for, my clients and their clients. And again, just this circular motion of like putting good out into the universe. So
It's so powerful. And sometimes it's so exciting to just like be the center of this little ripple and you just have no idea how far and how many lives you're going to impact.
yeah, it's an honor. It really is. It's super cool to see my clients do the work and to see them go out and help other people too. So it really is. It's an honor to be able to do this work. And for years, myself, like I mentioned earlier, I was in the corporate world, had cushy salary, cushy title, but I just always felt like in my gut, like what am I supposed to be doing? Because I know that it's not this. And that's when the Yes Supply method found me, I guess, or I found it, however you want to say it, vice versa. And, never looking back. So
wow, that's amazing. So in your journey, just so that I can understand that everyone can understand, you're working corporate, then you found Yes Supply. Did you have a business at this point? Were you full-time? Like obviously you were full-time, you were a corporate. So what was kind of your journey?
Yeah, it's funny. Like I was mentioning earlier, the intuitive nudges, I kind of been just pushing it aside for years, just kind of stuffing down that voice. But I always felt something in the back of my head that was like, maybe you should start your own business, or I wonder what it would be like to start my own business. And I felt like, my purpose and my passion in life was to help other people. I just wasn't sure how and what capacity. And I had gone to, undergrad or even graduate school to do something that gave me the opportunity to do that professionally. I've got actually a very technical background. I have a political science degree, but worked in cybersecurity.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is totally like polar opposite. But I do credit a lot of my corporate background with really helping me, and I see this a lot with my clients. Be very focused on systems. And I think that the Yes Supply tools help fit into those boxes nicely. So I like to say that I kind of take like the woo-woo granola stuff, like the EFT tapping, single belief, and then marry it to a system that helps my corporate girlies start their own businesses and help other people. So it's kind of a marriage of both worlds. But, my soul, I think, just kind of knew that it was time to exit. And, I'm grateful for all the lessons that I learned. But I think working for myself and knowing these things and being able to give back in this way, like I said, it's profound. And I think it's beautiful. So love the work that y'all do.
So beautiful. That's so cool. That's so exciting. I love that aspect of like marrying all your experience from corporate, because you're right. There's like a lot of structure in corporate. And even me, like coming into more of an entrepreneurship role, like having the structure in that and like the brain's like, okay, these are all kind of the steps that we need, along with all of these supportive aspects that we teach at the SFI method, like marrying those together is so lovely.
I agree. Chef's kiss. Yeah, you can take have your own autonomy and creativity, but blend it with some of the systems that I think a lot of my clients get from their time in corporate. And a lot of them were basically me a few years ago. So it's interesting to feel like I'm kind of coaching my younger self and seeing so many of the things that I struggled with mirror back to me, but now I've got a toolbox to help them. So,
oh my gosh, that is so cool. Kind of like looking back and almost being a mirror. Wow. Yeah. Is there any personal transformations that you have gone through that like really stood out from using like one of the tools or something that you feel open to share?
Yeah, I know I keep saying EFT tapping, but I think, again, I work with my clients a lot on this, on self-belief and self-worth. And I had one client who was a maternity photographer and really felt, I think, a sense of guilt and shame and a sense of unworthiness and feeling guilty for, charging what she should be for her talents and her gifts. So I think some of the tools that I was able to use to help her clear out some of that crap and then really show up as herself and charge her worth has been really gratifying. And, to see her business take off and to just see her step into her power was really beautiful.
I love that. It's so nice to be like so supportive and be able to support people and then watch them have these like massive changes and transformations and be like, oh my gosh, you're doing it. All that was in your way was like this limiting belief.
Yeah. So I would say limiting beliefs really are at the heart of 99% of the issues. And I think it's not enough just to clear it. You need to reprogram your mind with all the good positive thoughts. So
totally. Yeah, absolutely. Like we're releasing things and then we're replacing it with all of these new aspects.
Yeah. And our programming, I mean, I know they teach us obviously in the Yes Apply method. It's years and years of built up junk since we were kids, beliefs that we didn't even, I think, consciously choose to believe. They were just passed down to us or taught to us. So it's not even necessarily our thoughts. So that's why I think the subconscious work, no matter what line of work you're in, really is kind of the acorn. It's at the center of everything.
Totally. We're not even aware of so much of it until you're aware of it. And, like it can be so nice to have a coach there to reflect that back and just really be that mirror.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay. You touched on this a little bit, Ivy, but what would you say to anyone who's thinking of joining the Yes Apply method?
Was it Nike that says just do it? Just like I said, I had this, intuitive nudge after my coach and my friend told me about it. I really hadn't heard of it before. But again, if you have any interest in helping serving others and subconscious work or any of the tools, if you are even slightly woo-woo spiritual, whatever you want to call it, to me, it's all part of the same system. We're all interconnected. And I think that's one of the beautiful things that all these tools, have taught me. But I would say go for it. You won't regret it. So
I love that. Thanks, Ivy. And before we wrap up, where can anyone find you? So where can the viewers find you and follow along with your journey?
Yes. So like I said, the name of my business is Jenkins Solutions, and my handle is at Jenkins Solutions, and my website is just www.jenkinssolutions.co, and that's .co.com, not
Hey, yeah. Okay, beautiful. Well, thanks, Ivy, for chatting with us. I really appreciate you being here and sharing. Yeah, and I will see you soon.
Yeah, that sounds great. Thank you so much. It was good to see you.
Thanks, Ivy.
Bye.